Now that I have everything in my movie that I need, and by what I need, I mean I've checked out my rubric, and even if I haven't checked out my rubric, which I should have, then on the class site, if there's a movie for it, you can know that I'm looking for it, such as obviously your 5 images with their captions. I need a title slide with your name on it, credits with all credit due to all the image owners, and now as soon as you get your music, you can add that in. Your effects, your transitions, all that stuff's on the rubric. It's also on this list, and now you have audio. Just a heads up that within iMovie there are sound effects already in there. If you look off to the left and down under sound effects, conveniently, you can preview different sounds. They're at the top. You can go through and find different sound effects if you want and click on them. And then down at the bottom you have theme music you can select from for it to actually be music. If you notice off to the left-hand side, it will preview it if you click play. Okay, as I'm hearing that, I'm hearing more of a rock sound, and so for my movie, I don't really have that kind of a feel. So even if I may like the sound, it's not necessarily one that belongs in my movie, clearly. So then we can go to the class site. I do want to show you one extra thing quickly before we head over there. You do have iTunes, so if you were to email or not AirDrop, but Google Drive yourself a song, remember practicing fair use at that time, then you could grab it from iTunes if you needed to, or GarageBand. If you are ahead right now, if you're ready to add audio today, you could go to GarageBand and make your own sound, which I can show you a little heads up on that if you get the opportunity or if you want to. But if none of those are an opportunity and you don't like anything that's underneath sound effects, then we can go to the class site, and there, down at the bottom of this page, and actually let's take a tick back here and get back to the main page. On the class site, if you click on Digital Footprint and Citizenship Units on the left over here, then we're at our end of unit project. If I scroll down, I have Sound Day. Notice that it says use the sites below to download copyright-friendly, royalty-free, fair use music and or sound effects to your video. If you're looking for music, you may not find what you hear on the radio, but you'll find music like what you hear on the radio. In some cases, you might find the actual song you hear. It just won't maybe be by the artist that you know. YouTube is not an option at this time. Your movie is only anywhere from 36 seconds, maybe over a minute. Mine happens to be just a breath over a minute. So you don't need a lot of song. Be creative, learn something new, try out all these sites, and above all else, remember to give credit to the music owners. So let's go and check out these different links down here. We have Creative Commons, of course, fan fave. There's also Sounds Abound, which you may or may not have used in the past. Creative Commons is mostly music. Sounds Abound will be music and sound effects, etc. You'll need to log in to Sounds Abound with the Grant Wood login information, and that's on your sticker inside of your agenda. It's the Point 1337 stuff. And then Sound Bible is mostly just sound effects. So that's, you'll have to decide, do I want sound effects or actual music throughout my movie? And you can mix and match both, just make sure it sounds good. Sometimes it can be a train wreck if you don't play around with it quite right. So if I'm going to go ahead and use Creative Commons, I know that personally I'm not going to use my movie for any business use, or I'm not going to sell it. I just am making it for you guys and for my enjoyment, so I don't need to worry about commercial purposes. I may want to modify it, so I'm going to actually leave that alone. And I like to type in just a style of music first. So let's go with, oh, that might not work. Let's go with pop. I don't know. That doesn't really sound like something that might go with mine. So let's actually go with classical. And I have, this time I have SoundCloud, which is really the only one I like here. CC Mixter is a possibility, but I'm sorry to say this, you're kind of on your own for figuring out how to download yet. And if you do figure that out, please let me know. I haven't figured out yet where they'll allow you to download. So feel free to try that out and teach me something new today. Jamendo, love it. Not always working, so we'll start with SoundCloud. Actually, let's start with Jamendo. And it's hopefully searching Jamendo for classical. This is where it kind of breaks a little bit. So what I can do is actually just tell it again that I would like, and you can see it comes up with some examples down here. I can do an advanced search. Some of these aren't exactly and for classical it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but I would like to see if I can grab something from the United States. So it'll search it again, and now I have all of these options. I can play it to preview it. It might have to buffer a little bit, so you might have to work with a little bit of your patience here. Okay, and I know you can't hear that, but it's kind of a little more, I don't know, scary isn't the word, but it's kind of got that tone to it. Not really the angle I'm going for with my photography video, so I would keep previewing. Let's pretend it actually does work. I can click that little purple download button right there, and they want me to give credit to the artist. That's fine, I can do that. And I'm going to go ahead and click my free download. And it should pop right over here into my downloads folder. Now be careful. This, I don't want to just click and drag off my dock. This is a folder. It doesn't look like a folder, but it is. So once it's done, all I have to do is, if it'll catch up with me here, there we go. And I can quit iTunes as soon as that opens up here. That'll be something, and actually I'm just going to go ahead and quit it now because I don't need it open. All I need is this out, and I would need some free desktop space to stick it on, so I'm actually going to just stick it up here in the corner. And now I should have the chance to drag that on in. So here's my sound right here, and all I have to do is click and drag it in and have it start where I want it to start. That's how you add in sound. That's really easy. Putting sound in is super easy. The other sites, just to give you a heads up, let's go back to those just for a second, let's go back one more. SoundCloud off of Creative Commons. Now this can be a heartbreaker. It can be where you want to go if you like music radio, or music radio, if that makes sense. But it can also break your heart right here. This may be what I want. I can click play, preview it. We'll pretend it's perfect. It doesn't really sound like it is, but we'll pretend it is. I shouldn't have even clicked play because there is no download button. I want to scroll. When you use SoundCloud, you want to scroll and only play those with download. Otherwise, you can't have it, which is just breaks my heart every time. So do make sure you look for the SoundCloud or for the download button there. For Sounds Abound, log in here. 1337. And I'm going to go ahead and log in. And I'm going to go ahead and save the password because it's one that we all know anyway. That's good. Oh, yep. They flipped that around on me a couple years ago. Let's try this again. Yep, let's try and save that password. And this is looking better. I go straight to category because there's just a couple of categories as you scroll through here. So if you look through, you find something that might match. So for instance, maybe I want a little more upbeat, and I know in the 20s they've got some nice little upbeat tunes. I can go ahead and preview and play it. I'm going to listen to the minute-long one because that's, my movie's a minute long, so why wouldn't I want a minute-long song? Go ahead and listen. Okay, it's what I would expect from a rag kind of a song. So let's say I love it, it sounds great, download MP3, same thing, it pops over to your downloads, you click on your folder to open it up and drag it out, and then drag it right into iMovie. Last one I want to show you is Sound Bible. This is for, it's like got every sound effect you can possibly want in life, which is awesome. So if I type in something like, let's try camera click, and go ahead and search for that. I have one, personal use only works for me because I'm not going to sell it. So I listen to it. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. But I actually have to go in, click on the link, and right here, this is a nice, pretty download button. Not it. It's an ad. Right here, MP3, click it, boom, onto your dock, drag it out just like the other stuff. And that is how to get audio.